Hi, guys. Welcome to our first athlete interview. We are so excited to have one of our absolute favorite riders at the training center who has one of our original riders and has been with us for so long. And she also has the privilege, or we have the privilege, of having her in the center, I think, more than any other athlete. So, if you guys, most of you know Lynne Green.
Thank you for asking me, Christine.
Yes. So, first, tell us a little bit more about you and what you do when you're not here. I think a lot of our members know you outside the bike rack too, which is always really fun to hear about.
Well, yes, thank you. I'm a music teacher. I have my own private flute studio in St. Charles, and I'm a longtime band director, co-band director with my colleague Larry Rossi at St. Pat's School. We've been there 26 years.
Wow.
And I teach 5th through 8th grade band instruments and full band, and flute privately, as I mentioned. Those are my passions outside of riding.
Wow. Well, that keeps you busy too,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
And so tell us a little bit about how you got into the sport and where you started and how you ended up here.
Well, riding outside as a kid ended for me pretty much when I was in my 30s. I just didn't ride out anymore. And then Delnor, it was called Delnor Community Health and Wellness Center at the time, opened. And when I went there, the first thing I got into was spinning. I'd never done that before, but somehow found it very addictive. And I kept track of all my classes. I did over 800 spinning classes in the course of my time at Delnor.
Okay, wait. So tell us, I love how detail oriented you are about all of your writing. So just to interrupt you a little bit, tell us about everything that you kept track of at that point in time.
Well, I would simply write down the name of the instructor, the day and time of the class, and for a while, who my classmates were. But then when the class got big, I wouldn't write everybody's name down. And I didn't really track mileage or power or anything. We weren't doing power at that point, just riding. And so just mainly a quantitative total of what I had done.
Wow. And you took 800 classes.
Over 800, yeah.
In what period of time?
That's what I'm trying to remember. It was between maybe the first 2 years that Delnor was open. I would do it 4 or 5 times a week. And,
wow.
And like I said, it was pretty addictive. And then we got an instructor there named Randy King, who changed my life forever. Aww. Because he told us that we are athletes, and I never thought of myself as an athlete. I was a rider. Just the other athletes were athletes, but I just rode. And he said, if you're training with a purpose, you're an athlete. So all of a sudden I began to think of it differently. And he did not talk about it as spinning. He talked about it as cycling and had a different approach to it. He would hold a cycle camp. A few times we had cycle camp and brought in outside people, and we had pamphlets and notebooks and took it to a whole different level.
Very cool.
And then he left Delnor to found his own school with other people called Revolution, which is over in the Sportsplex. Well, I was by that time addicted to Randy's teaching, so I left and went there. And that closed after not very long, unfortunately, and Randy came here to the bike rack. I came to the bike rack and been here probably almost 10 years of doing the indoor. And then from different systems, because we didn't start with CompuTrainers here. We started with individual trainers.
Okay.
And then when we went to CompuTrainers, I found my passion in life.
Wow.
Really.
Very cool. And then, and you've kept meticulous records?
I have. And in this, I don't write down what I should, because I'm sure it should be the power and all that, but I simply write the day of the class, the title of the class, the instructor, mileage in, mileage out, and duration. I just write it down. It's my thing to do at the end of class. Right. I'm in my 10th notebook right now at the bike rack.
Oh, very cool.
I think Revolution was in there too.
10th notebook.
10th little spiral bound thing.
Wow. So out of all, this is going to be a hard question then. Out of all the classes you've been to, what kind of class is your favorite? Do you have a favorite, like a climbing class or building or intensity or?
Really, I can't say that. I favor any one over the other. They all have their purpose, and they're also well thought out with the instructors that I feel like it's always purposeful time spent.
Yeah.
I mean, I take 3 classes a week now. And right now I'm with Chris Palmquist, and her 2 on Tuesday and Thursday, I'm sure, are sequential and are geared toward certain development. But then my 3rd class is on Saturday and sometimes on Sunday which is just a different kind of ride.
Right.
But I like the variety, from the interval workouts to the long sustained efforts.
Right.
All of it.
Right. Very, very cool. How about most memorable class? Do you have any classes in particular here that really stand out?
Oh, that's a hard one to answer.
I know. I told you it was a trick question.
Well, a lot of times we would have the 2-hour classes in the past few years. We don't have them right now, but just the fact that they would say, this is the only 2-hour class at the bike rack and that I could do it, I felt very happy about that. And they're great workouts. So I think I enjoyed that, the being special to that class. But
right.
No, I love everybody here. The instructors that I've had have been great. And just I feel that my health has been so much improved by doing this over time. And
yeah, so tell us a little bit more. It was really such a compliment to you and your dedication to your sport.
So you call it a sport, so that makes me feel good because I don't ride outside, people.
Right.
I don't ride outside.
But you are so dedicated to what you do here and how you do it. And I think that's so inspiring to the rest of us. Everybody seems to sort of have down times or whatever, but you are so consistent in your training and what you do and how you do it. I'd love to see that. It's really, really awesome.
Well, I find that from my doctor's standpoint,
yes.
And when you get blood work and they look at you like you can't be as old as you really are, this is good.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit more. You're just telling me about what your doctor said to you the last time you were there.
I have an endocrinologist. He's a triathlete himself, and so we always compare notes and everything, and he just is very impressed at what I do and the numbers that are holding steady, which is why I don't want to, at my age, ride outside, because all it would take is a fall, a broken hip, and it could be over forever, and I'm just not willing to risk it. Although you can't imagine how many friends and colleagues over the years here have said, why don't you ride outside? I can't understand how you can do this. And even during the summer when there are no classes, I still come 3 times a week and follow the profiles, and keep going all summer. Otherwise, it hurts like crazy to start up in the fall because I've been lax a couple of summers, and I don't ever want to be lax.
Right.
Ever.
Right. And so I think, too, to anyone who's watching that and is one of our athletes, if you want some indoor riding in the summer, I'm sure you would love to have some company.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Call Lance, and he knows when I'm in usually.
Right.
No instruction, but we can pretty much figure out the profiles after you've done as many as I have. You can pretty much tell what is wanted.
Now, do you go through a certain periodization during the summer when you're in charge?
Well, this past summer and past 2 summers really, I've followed Chris's aerobic base building, total base development from day one. It was 6 months with her classes and 6 months off. So I just did the 6 months twice. Once with her and once by myself.
Right.
And I got up to week 26, so I guess I just about made 6 months.
Wow.
So I just did the whole thing again, just recycled.
Right.
Oh, pardon the fun. I didn't think of it that way until too late.
Yeah, that was true recycling.
Yes, it was.
Oh, then you're so funny.
And I hope this year that I'm brave enough again to start doing time trials again, indoor time trials.
Oh, wow.
I did over a dozen of these over time, and they have them at ABD.
Right.
And those are the ones I did, and they were 10K, and I did a lot of them. And then they changed to 10 miles, and at that time I had broken a knee or something, and I wasn't able to compete. And when I thought of going back and doing 10 miles, I didn't know if I could do 10 miles. I never trained for it. So I haven't done it yet, but I was in shape enough to do it. I just didn't, so I'm hoping this year somebody kicks me and says, go do 10 miles and see what they're like,
Oh, I will do it with you.
Oh, okay.
Yes, definitely.
Especially if there's a program on the computer that will be a 10-mile practice time trial, because that's what I did before I started doing these. They had the exact course that ABD does, and I felt like I could do that, and so I did. And I did some pretty good times. I think my best time was 17:43 for the 10K, and that wasn't bad compared to even other women much younger, so I was happy about that.
So impressive.
Yeah. But I had some bad ones too. You had some bad ones in 19 minutes, 20, I think.
But that's what makes the good ones so good, right?
Yeah.
If it was good every week, it wouldn't be really that good. Yeah. If you throw some bad ones in there, then the good ones get really good.
So they're fun. It's something I can do at a competitive level, without being outside and being injured.
Right.
So I just have to believe that 10 miles is not too much farther than 10K.
Right. Oh, that would be wonderful. I'm glad you bring that up. So we should do that
Okay.
maybe on Friday nights. We
Okay.
could add a special class or Sunday.
Just to see what the time would be, and then I would not be shocked when it comes that this is what I would do normally
Right.
for a 10-mile.
Right. Oh, we'll put that on the calendar.
Okay.
We love new stuff. Anytime anybody has ideas, right? We love to throw a new class together or something or do something different. So I think that'd be fabulous. We'll talk. And one of my other coolest things ever about my friend Lynn is her obsession with the Tour de France.
Oh, yeah. We are, aren't we? Both
Yes.
of us. It's not just me. We come in the summer and we talk about the different stages.
And then the first thing we say to each other, don't tell me,
Right,
because I haven't seen it yet.
And I have a book. I keep my notebook for the Tour de France. I've got each stage winner and the predictions by the commentators, Bob Roll and Phil and Paul and Christian or whoever happens to be doing the commentary.
Right.
I write down their predictions and then the number of points they got and who won the stage and what was the stage.
About the bikes.
And about the bikes. Oh, yes, I have to, a special way I have to do this. I list each team and I have to visually see on the screen the bike and be able to tell what it is before I write it in. I mean, I'm sure I could go online and say, what is Team Garmin's bike this year? But no, I've got to see it. That's hard to do sometimes. You can't
It's very
always,
hard.
Either they're in the wrong angle of the camera or whatever, but I usually get most of them. And then I also write who is dropped out of each stage, who did not finish or who did not start, so I kind of know when the teams are
And the
depleted.
kits. Yes.
Not so much. Yeah, I don't pay too much attention to what they wear. No,
I love the kits.
they go changing money, and then the riders change, and it confuses me a lot. But that's the open season, right?
Yeah. So what are you thinking for this year for the tour?
I don't know. I was disappointed at how they were treating Chris Froome last year, and I mean, you like to hope everybody's clean, but you talk to people around here, and no, they say no, they're not riding clean, and it's so discouraging.
But did you see how he's going to reveal? It's like in Vanity Fair or some magazine that I wasn't anticipating, all his biological markers.
I didn't see that. But
Yeah, I just read that yesterday. So it's going to be really fun that they're really going with full disclosure and really want to put all of the testing that they have done out there to really prove that he's clean. I thought that was a really big step. So I think that's going to be out next week or something.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, so that'll be really fun to see.
Think how can they even do this race without help? I mean, it seems physically impossible.
Yeah.
Day after day after day. So, but anyway, Christine and I enjoy taking notes with each other on the tour
and figuring out and
she knows way more than I do.
No. I'm like, Lynn, what happened yesterday? Oh, but don't tell me.
Yeah.
So that's really fun. And I always say we need to have more rides inside to watch the tour. So maybe we can work on that too, Lynn.
That would be great.
Or really keep a track of the rain rides. If it rains during a day in July, because then we could get other friends too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who are training for outdoors. So maybe we'll have to
utilize it more.
Yeah.
It's here.
Come on here. In. Yeah.
Come in out of the heat and whatever.
And the cars and the traffic.
And I remember too, Chris Palmquist said one year she had her best year ever when she did, I think, 1 or 2 indoor rides all summer long. And that really helped her racing season. So people say, I'm going to be outside. But then in the fall, I asked some of my friends, how was your summer? Oh, I didn't get to ride as much as I used to or would plan to.
Right.
So that maybe coming once or twice a week would keep you going.
Would be fabulous. Yeah. And now there's a lot of pro triathletes train so much on a CompuTrainer because they know that they can get, with the same amount of hours, they can get so much more true riding and true fitness in that, who was it? Was it Andy Potts? I was reading an article recently, and he said, I can't compete. I know Andy Potts trains almost exclusively inside on a CompuTrainer because of the safety issues and because of the training. And someone was, another pro triathlete was saying, well, I do it now because I have to, because if I want to compete when everyone else is using this, this addition to their training, I have to too. So I think that the benefit you can get in that organized, no stop sign, no stops, 100%, you're talking, you're not dropping cadence. You can't, when you're on a CompuTrainer, you're doing the workout, right? So a lot of people come to me and say, well, can you look at this ride and how did I do? And I said, well, did you do the workout, then you did awesome, right? So there's just so much to be said for that, Lynn. So that's really, really, really
And I
interesting.
just have to say how grateful I am to the Bike Rack to have this facility and the staff and all the improvements they've made this year, and every year they've tried to improve things, and we've got beautiful screen now and great sound system and bike storage now, and really they do everything for the riders.
Right.
You know,
Right.
And the coaches, everyone I've had, and I've over the years had all of them. They're wonderful. They each have their own approach, and I treasure that really.
Oh, well, we just love having you as a writer, and your positive outlook on life just overflows to your writing and to everyone around you.
Thank you.
So it means so much to
But
so many.
I wish we could have more older athletes like myself. I turned 70 this year and would love to have a group of people in the 60s and 70s. There are a few of us, but I think I'm the reigning age person right now, and I would just like to encourage anyone. You're not going to fall off. You're going to work at your own level. No one's going to be pushing you. The young people like Christine here and all the coaches are an inspiration. They're not intimidation at all.
Well, and we're all about for everyone, right?
Really, absolutely. Nobody has ever made anyone feel like they don't belong. They're always inclusive for everybody, I feel.
Right.
And everyone would be welcome. I'd love to see a group of my age around here.
I think that might be our new goal.
I don't
Lynn.
think it hurts to start at any point. I think any place like this is a great place to start.
Right. And two, we have rental bikes. So if you're watching this and you don't have a bike, which you might be using that as a barrier and as an excuse, but it's not, because we can get you on a rental bike.
Yeah.
So we're actually making those rental bikes more available, so it's very easy to come in. You don't have to ride in clips. We'll get your bike all set up. You can ride on a hybrid bike. If you want to ride, we 100% want to make it available to every single athlete, hands down. So we would just love to have more people.
Yeah. And the new registration system is great because if you have to cancel a class, you can plug into another class and you're not losing anything.
And just having that flexibility.
That's great that you set up that.
I love that. And that's always our goal. And I know it sometimes can be frustrating to work with a little bit, but know that our goal with that, and we don't have any membership costs. You can cancel at any time. Mm-hmm. There's no gotchas in the system. It's 100% to make sure that we fill every single class and we get every rider in here as much as we possibly can, because we know the more that our riders ride, the stronger they're going to be. And that is absolutely our goal. So,
well, you're doing it. So
we're getting there.
Thank you.
We're getting there. So thanks so much, Lynn, for taking the time to talk with all of us today, and for everything you do for every single person that rides with you and everyone who coaches you. And I know Chris, you mean the world to her. And we all appreciate having you.
I call myself the ghost of Christmas yet to come in the spirit of the season. Keep doing it and start doing it. It's never too late. I think you'll love it.
Okay, great. Thanks, Lynn.
You're welcome.